Hi guys, thanks for clicking on the video today. My name is Maria and I'm back with another video. So y'all, in today's video, I'm going to go through my entire makeup process. Somebody left a comment that they wanted to see the entire process, you know, as opposed to me going through some of the steps and then coming back with a full face. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I actually like these types of videos. I myself like to watch long makeup videos. I like to watch people do a detailed makeup routine. I don't know. I just like that. But for myself, when I'm going through my editing process, I kind of cut out a lot of things because I don't know. As a creator, I feel like I don't want the makeup to be too long because when I look at my analytics, it says that people are not watching the majority of the video. So that kind of gets into my head and I cut out a lot of things in hopes of making the video more enjoyable. But I don't know. That may or may not be working. But I actually enjoy long, detailed makeup videos. So that's what I'm going to do today. Because I've been trying to solidify a good base makeup routine. I've been practicing a little bit. So I think I got it down. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go through my entire makeup process. I am going to talk about the products I'm using. I'm going to talk about the tools, my favorite tools to use for each step. And yeah, so again, we don't want to make the video too long, so let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, so first things first is the skin prep, and I have a freshly washed face. I have dry skin. I have textured skin. I have moles on my face, raised moles. I have dark circles. My face is probably 3 different colors, so that's what we have going on. The first thing I like to do, and as you can look at my face, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it in my mirror here that my face has already started to dry out. I'm getting some ashiness, some peeling around my nose, right here in my cheek area. This is where I get extra dry. It is peeling. My forehead, even on my chin. I see that. My lips are extremely dry, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but I see it. So let's fix that. Fix that, we go in with the moisturizer. And I have several items, well, several products here that I like to use. I go back and forth. We know the newest product is the Danessa Myricks Moisture Repair Balm. I've been loving that, but I also like my Pharmacy Honey Halo Glow. I really do love this. And I also love using a face oil. I have the Danessa Myricks Beauty Oil. And then I have the Guerlain Abiel Watery Youth Oil Face Oil. I love this. Actually, I think I'm going to use this today. As you can see, I don't have that much in here. So let's just kind of use this. Now, this is a oil that is, they kind of says for anti-aging, whereas it plumps the skin. It decreases the look of lines, wrinkles, and it definitely hydrates. And it is a solid skincare product. But because my skin is really dry, I'm going to go on top of this with another skincare. I'm going to go on top of this with another skincare product. And I am going to go in with my Danessa Myricks Moisture Repair Balm because, like I said, my skin is really going through it today. And I'm not going to say today, it's just going through it because I washed my face earlier this morning and I haven't put anything on it. So like I said, it would definitely let me know, like, okay, you're forgetting something. We need some moisture. And I also put this on my lips as well. So, and typically when I'm doing my makeup, I don't go right in with the makeup. Usually I do my skincare and I kind of peel around just a little bit. But for the sake of the video, we're going to go in with the next product. All right, so this is where I start making decisions. Like, what kind of look do I want to go for today? Do I want to go for a matte look? Do I want to go for something that's a little bit more luminous? What do I want to do? So sometimes I go back and forth whether or not to use an eye cream because sometimes the eye cream can irritate my under eyes and make my eyes watery. And then sometimes it works beautifully. Now I have tried this Kiehl's Powerful Strength Line Reducing and Dark Circle Diminishing Vitamin C Eye Serum here. I was using this, but I stopped because it actually made my eyes burn. And And I really didn't see anything happening as far as the dark circles diminishing and all that kind of stuff. So I bought this Fresh Black Tea Age Delay Eye Concentrate. And I have been loving this, honestly. I don't use it all the time because it is quite expensive. So I be trying to savor it. This is how much I have left. But we're going to go ahead and go in with the eye cream today because it does. Now this Fresh, it doesn't irritate my eyes at all. It makes them feel so nice, soft, and moisturized and hydrated. And I feel like my concealer goes on just a little bit better when I have this on. Now, when I bought this, it was just like it says age delayed eye concentrate, black tea. But now they've come out with a new version of this and it has retinol in it. So the new retinol version is on sale at Sephora. It's $72. When I purchased this, it was $68. So, but anyway, again, I don't like to rush through my skin prep. I like to kind of sit between each step and let, you know, each step kind of marinate. And I think that's why it takes so long to put on makeup sometimes. But yeah, so I'm going to let this sit just a little bit and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I tied my hair back just a little bit. I don't know, when I bought this wig, they sent me one hair clip. Why didn't they send two? So I have a bobby pin on this side. But anyway, so let's go in. So the first thing I'm going to do today is start on my eyes. When I watch makeup tutorials, I typically fast forward through the eyebrow tutorial because I don't do a lot with my eyebrows. I typically get them threaded and shaped, and then I just go in with my Kosas eyebrow gel just to kind of make them look a little bit thicker and to cover some of the gray hairs that are in my eyebrows. But today I have a new product. I have this Got to Be Glued for brows and edges. I got this from Amazon. I think it was like $8. So this is a 2-in-1 gel for brows and edges. For long-lasting looks, it has castor oil in it. It is sweat-proof. And it's supposed to be like this super duper hold for your eyebrows. This is what the packaging looks like. And this is what the wand looks like. So that's what the wand looks like. It's very, very skinny, and this is like a clear gel. So I'm going to try this today to get my eyebrows to kind of stay in place. I am past due for a threading, so y'all just bear with me. This is just an everyday look for me. And let's see. I did try this. I got this in the mail yesterday, and I did try it out yesterday. And the funny thing is that I put this on and I brushed my brows up. I let them sit and I forgot about it. And after a while, I accidentally, you know, just reached up and touched my face and touched my brows. And I felt, my brows felt like they were glued to my face. I was like, wait a minute, what's... And I forgot that I had applied this Got to Be Glued. But baby, when I tell you, this will glue your eyebrows in place and they will not move. Now, the only thing I don't know, when I would use the brow gel, do I put the brow gel on now? Do I wait until it dries down? Because once it dries down, it does not move. So I don't know. And see, I could cut these myself, but I don't want to do it myself because I'm going to wait and let the girl do it. But, so we're going to just let that dry while we figure out when we're going to put the eye gel on. But anyway, so I've decided that, of course, I want a matte look today. And I told you guys I love matte looks. So I'm going to go in with my Yummy Skin Water Power Serum. Water powder serum. And we're going to go ahead and mattify this skin. So I'm just putting just a couple of drops on the back of my hand. Y'all, I feel like this water powder serum is going to be my fave product for the summertime. because it's already doing a great job in these mild weather months. Like I said, here in Atlanta, we kind of go back and forth between the 60s and 70s lately, and my makeup has, oh shoot, I'm so used to rubbing on my eyebrows. I just rub my eyebrows. But anyway, as far as keeping me shine free and keeping my face matte all day, this water powder serum has really been doing an excellent job. And I can't wait to see what it does in the summertime. And you know what we're going to use now? We're going to go in with our Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder in the shade 9. This is going to be our primer. Although the water powder serum, you can stop right there and just go on with on top of that with your makeup, because it's considered to be a primer as well. But I like to go in with my Blurring Balm powder just to get some extra mattification. And I just like the way this smooths out my skin right in this area. And you know the the Blurring Balm powder has that Upsolite in it, which is supposed to really keep the sweat and oil at bay. If you're an oily skin person and you have not tried the Blurring Balm powder, you are wasting time. I think I said before I was going to start out with my eyes, and I kind of lost track. But I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes now before we apply the foundation. So I like to go in with an eyeshadow base or primer for the eyes. And I typically like to use the Danessa Myricks Color Fix or the e.l.f. No Budge Cream eyeshadow. The e.l.f. No Budge Cream eyeshadow is a 3-in-1 product. It is an eyeshadow, a primer, and an eyeliner. Same with the Danessa Myricks. You can use this as an eyeshadow primer. You can use it as eyeshadow. You can use it as bronze. I mean, you can use these as anything, lipstick, blush, anything. So, but I like these because they keep my eyelids from creasing. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and use today. All right, guys, I don't know where I left off at. My camera, my battery died, so I had to put in a new camera. But first I'm going to go in with this eyeshadow. This is the Danessa Myricks Invisible Eyeshadow Base. And it's just a creamy, translucent or transparent. Kind of feels like Vaseline. But I like to use this because it does smooth out the eyelids. So if you have crepey, kind of crepey eyelids, you can go in and use that. So I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks. This is Nude 10 of her Color Fix. It's a little darker. I wish I had a lighter shade, but I just squeeze this out and start applying this all over my eyelid. I'm using the Real Techniques. This is the, the number has washed off, but this is the eyeshadow blending brush, or I don't know, it's an eyeshadow brush from Real Techniques that I really do love because it lets you kind of cover everything in just a few swipes. Go over here and do the same thing. And mind you, this is just our eyeshadow base, primer, whatever you want to call it, because we are going to go on top of this with some powder eyeshadows. So we let that dry down. It dries down pretty quickly. Okay, for my eyes, y'all, I'm going to go in on top of this Color Fix with this green eyeshadow from MAC. This is called More Money, More Problems. It's their matte eyeshadows. This is the single. Y'all know I do buy a lot of singles. And I'm going to take this flat brush. This is one of my favorite brushes to apply eyeshadow. And I'm just going to start applying this now. I'm not the best at eyeshadow application. And so I've recently started, when I watch other makeup tutorials, I do sit through the eyeshadow application because I want to get better at this. I want to be quicker at this. So, because typically I just don't have the patience sometimes for eyeshadow. I just want a one swipe and I want it to be done. And you can do that. I have done that. But it definitely, blending is a very time consuming aspect of makeup application, I have learned. So I just want to put that on like that. This is the Echo Tools blending eyeshadow brush. So we're going to take this and I'm just going to blend it out because I am going for a one and done eyeshadow look today. So we're just going to apply this green all over the lid. Sometimes it's just easier just to go in with your fingers. So that's what our one and done is looking like. I am going to do the other eye off camera because I don't have a lot of space on my SD card. So we're just going to, maybe I'll just, I don't know, maybe I'll just speed through this part. Okay guys, so for right now, this is our one and done eyeshadow look. And now we can finally get to the face. All right guys, so for foundation, finally, I'm going to be using my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Marquises. Yeah, I really want to use this up before the year is out. I really do. You would think, I think it's almost, I'm starting to see spaces in the bottle. So maybe it's almost already done. But yeah, I bought this foundation when it first came out. And I fell in love with it. And it's definitely one of those foundations that I repurchase. But I've really been loving my Dior Backstage lately. And so yeah, but I really want to use up that NARS. So y'all know what I like to do. I like to go in with one side of my face first. I just like to see the transformation. And that's what started it all. When I started watching makeup reviews or makeup videos, I like to watch the ones that had the transformative aspect. I started out watching a lot of drag queens transform. Patrick Starr, I used to watch him all the time. And then Savannah Silver. I just like to see the transformation the artistry of makeup. So I like to see people who put the makeup on, who really can create art out of their makeup. And that could be just any regular person just doing an everyday look. I just love to see the transformative side of makeup. So that's why I do one side of my makeup and then I compare it to this side. I just do it when I'm filming and I do it when I'm not filming. But today I have two foundation brushes that I typically like to use. This is the Real Techniques 200 brush, and then this is the Echo Tools foundation brush. I washed the Real Techniques brush yesterday and it's still wet, so I can't use it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Echo Tools brush. And y'all, like I said in previous videos, my face is definitely mattified and I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Love it. Now, because my face is so matte right now, I probably don't need it, but I do like to go in with a beauty sponge. This is the original Beauty Blender sponge. And I still like to just go over my foundation to further blend. I just think this makes everything look so smooth. It makes everything look so smooth, in my opinion. And then this feels so good. It just feels so good on the face. Now, before we go in with concealer, I am going to go in with a cream contour. So for cream contour, I actually have three products that I typically like to use. So the first one is this Halo Glow Contour Wand. This is the shade Tan Deep. This is the shade Tan Deep. And then, of course, I have my Danessa Myricks Color Fix in the shade 10. And then I have the Juvia's Place Matte. This is their matte cream bronzer. So it's not a contour, it's their matte cream bronzer because it has more of a warmer undertone in it as opposed to the cool tones that typically are contours. So what I'm going to use today, I'm going to just go in with my Danessa Myricks because I want to show you how versatile these Color Fix products are. So we're going to use this as our contour today. Yeah, I washed my brushes again yesterday, and this is Saturday morning. Well, I washed them yesterday, was Friday. Today is Saturday morning, and they're still not all the way dry, but I am going to go in with this Real Techniques 400 brush. This is their bronzing brush, and I'm going to put a little bit of the Color Fix on the back of my hand. Typically, I will go in with the easel that I purchased from Danessa Myricks to do this, but I don't have time to get it up, go find it and everything. So, but yeah, so you can see how this definitely contours, but you have to be fast with it because this will dry down. So you have to kind of almost do it in sections. So Yo, this thing right here is getting on my nerves. Can you see that? Yeah, another thing too, I realized I don't like putting my makeup on with my wig on because the hairs just get all in the way. But for the sake of the video, this is what we're gonna do. Because look at this, this is ridiculous. So now we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do the nose contour, taking just a little bit. I'm gonna show you just how much. See that little dot? That is the dot that I'm taking to do my nose contour. And I'm gonna use, this is a brush, a slanted brush. It was part of the Amazon brush set I had. Uh-oh. I really prefer to go in with my e.l.f. nose contour brush, but it is wet. So this is my backup brush. All right, guys, so let's move on to concealer, y'all. And this may be an unpopular opinion or I don't know, a makeup no, I don't know. But I have been using this as my color corrector. So I need a color corrector. I use full coverage concealers, but I find sometimes I can still see the darkness peeking through. So y'all, I've been using my One Size blush trio. This is the shade Firestarter. And I use the cream in here as my color corrector, and it's been working. So I just take my finger, just a little bit, and I just kind of pat that under my eye. Actually, it looks like I got a lot, but it's really not a lot. And we just kind of pat that in. And then I go on top of this with my Lancome Tint It All Over Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 495. This is my complexion concealer. So y'all know I use two concealers. So we're going to just go in with this one. Typically, I will let this sit just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and just go in. But I do plan on getting a color corrector. I was looking at the Bobbi Brown color corrector. But a part of me is like, if this works, you know, use it. Why spend the money on, you know. But anyway, so, all right, so I typically like to blend out my concealer with a brush. This is the Real Techniques 402 brush. I like to blend out my concealer with the brush. Basically, I feel like it just gives a better blend and a fuller coverage. But I also like the Beauty Blender as well when I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to sit and blend out concealer. I just use a little bit more concealer. But yep, this is what we do. I forgot I also like to put this concealer a little bit around my mouth. And I don't feel like I need a color corrector around my mouth, but so now to brighten everything up just a little bit more, I typically go in with 460 with the Lancome concealer because it's a little bit brighter. But today, y'all, I'm going to use my Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. This is the shade 33.5Y. I don't reach for it as much because it dropped and the top broke, but I love this shade. It's a good brightening shade for me. And I really actually like the concealer because it's a full coverage concealer. Um, the only thing I don't really care for with this concealer is that it dries down so quickly. And a little bit goes a long way. So I just, put it on while I was talking. We're going to go in and start blending right away because this concealer likes to do a lot. But I like the fact that it is full coverage. It's kind of has a thick consistency to it. I like that as well. Yeah, because they're coming out with all these medium coverage concealers. So anytime I see something, a concealer that says medium coverage, I click off. I'm like, that's not for me. And then we move on. And again, you can see I'm doing this one side at a time because of the way this dries down so quickly. And once it dries, you can't hardly move it. So yeah, we're going to have to go back over that contour. Should have did the contour after the concealer. But anyway, we'll fix it. Now, real quickly, before we go in with the powder, I do want to just go back over my nose contour just a little bit more because I just feel like the concealer did a whole lot. Not to feel like this. A bit dark. Ooh. So we really got, you can see the darkness of, so you definitely can see that contour. But I'm gonna leave it just like that, and we'll work with it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and powder and get this stuff set. So to set our concealer, I've been going in with my pressed powder. This is the Kosas Cloud Bake setting powder. This is the shade Silky, and I've been using this to set my under eye before going in with a lighter setting powder. And I typically do this using, this is a Beauty Blender powder puff, and I like it. So I know it looks a bit dark, and I actually think I did apply a little bit too much, but we can fix that. So to highlight using powder, I love the Huda Beauty setting powder. This is the shade Kunifa. This is their Easy Bake setting powder. You know they have a pressed version of this. This is the loose powder. And I'm just going to take my sponge, my Beauty Blender sponge, and just kind of, and this is just for the baking. I always use this because I don't know, for some reason for me, I like the yellow color of this. So while that is sitting, I just take a powder, one of my powder brushes, and this is the Sephora 50 brush. This is a powder brush, and I just kind of go in between areas that I didn't set with this. And then I'm going to go back in with my bronzing trio from one side, and we're going to add just a little bit of bronzing to the face, just a little bit. Well, I'm not going to say just a little bit because I actually love bronzing. It is one of my favorite, bronzing and contouring have come to be one of my favorite steps in the makeup process. And sometimes I tend to over bronze and I look like I've been sitting in the sun too long. But I actually like that look. But I'm going to stop right there. And then we're going to brush. And then I have this Sephora 80 brush. Now this, they say this is a bronzing brush, and I still have some leftover bronzer on here. And I just kind of take that and go back over it. But I see a lot of people using this brush as just a regular powder brush. And I'm sure you can use it as that because, you know, it is a very nice fluffy brush. And I do like it, but I like to use it as for bronzer as opposed to powder. I'm going to go back, so to powder the rest of my face and to knock some of this bake off, I'm going to go back in with the Sephora 50 and that Cunifa, and the Cloud Bake from Kosas, and just wipe everything else off. So before we spray our face down, I'm going to go in with some blush. I'm going to be using this L'Oreal 24-Hour Fresh Wear blush. This is in the shade Legendary Berry. And then one of the brushes I like to apply so when it comes to applying blush, I like the Real Techniques blush brush. This is in the shade, this is in the shade. This is the 400. This is the 400 brush. This is their blush brush. But I also like to use this e.l.f. brush. This is an e.l.f. highlighter brush, but I love the way it applies blush. So I'm going to just use that today and just start applying a little bit of blush, because I feel like this brush gives my blush application just a little bit more precision, and I like that. So that's why we're using this one today. And I know there's always kind of not a debate, but because I watch several people's makeup tutorials, I see people when they apply blush, they either apply it to the back or to the front on the apples of the cheeks. And I like applying my blush mostly toward the back. I just like the way the blush connects with the eyeshadow. So that's most of the time, that's the look I'm going for. I want my blush to kind of blend in with my eyeshadow. Now, sometimes if I feel like I have on too much blush or I went too heavy, I'll go in with one of my powder brushes and just kind of try to diffuse that just a little bit. No product, nothing is on this brush, but just to diffuse it just a little bit. Because today I just want to do something, just be a little extra. I'm going to also go on top of this blush, the L'Oreal blush with my Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blush, because I love this. This is my favorite blush. I just love it. I know a lot of people say that it's not pigmented enough or melanated skin, but I just feel like it gives just enough subtleness to the face, just enough. And I like it. I like it. I can't help it. I like it. And I like pairing it with other blushes. So to me, it is so pretty. So pretty. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and spray our face down, and then see, this is what I would do off camera. Sorry. I'm going to take my Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray. This is a natural, it gives a natural finish. So this really replaced my Charlotte Tilbury. This was like $10 at Target. And I purchased this when I really didn't feel like going to spend a lot of money on the Charlotte Tilbury. So I went with that one, and I do like it. I do like it. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have a really pleasant smell. It's almost a no smell, but the Charlotte Tilbury gives me just enough fragrance, and I do like fragrance in my makeup products. So anyway, so we're going to let this, I like to let my setting spray naturally dry down. So usually while this is drying down, I'm off doing something else. So I'm going to come back once this dries down, and we'll finish out our eyes on camera. And then we'll go with the lips. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and finish up these eyes. So I know I said that I was going to be using the Kosas Air Brow Gel, what is it? Brow Gel. Brow Gel. But I used the Got to Be Glued brow gel, and it is a clear gel. This one has some color to it, and I just wanted to see if I could put this on top. Now y'all, I can't talk. My brows are super glued to my face, pretty much. And I know that's what we like, but I just want to put this on top just to make, and it's going on. Just to make the brows have a little bit more thickness, appear to be a little bit thicker. So it does look a little bit thicker. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up, because yeah, I feel like I've been doing this for so long. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the Sephora 12-hour waterproof eyeliner. It's in the shade black. Now what I do, I don't put my eyeliner on top of the top lash line. I do what I guess they call it a tight line, and I go up under. So I'm gonna just do this. I feel like it gives me just a better line. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something different. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go in with a flesh color eyeliner. So I'm going to go in with this. This is I think this is the Makeup Forever Fake Awake eyeliner. It's flesh colored. I'm going to do that today because I feel like I want my eyes to stay looking bright. So that doesn't take a long time. And then I was torn if I wanted to go under my bottom lash line with that green eyeshadow. Actually, what I'm gonna do, now let's do this. I'm just trying, y'all. Again, we're just playing. I'm just trying this out. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm going in with the Sephora 15 brush, eyeshadow brush, and I like this brush because it definitely, when I want to smoke out the bottom lash line, it lets me do that without a lot of fuss. As you can see. I don't know. And then I'm going to take this champagne color from MAC. It's like a shimmer. And then I'm using this little skinny brush from Amazon just to go into the corner. Ooh. Y'all, that is bright, bright. Ooh, that is bright. I ain't gonna even worry about it, y'all, but that's bright. I'm gonna leave it alone because, like I said, we're just playing today. I'm just really, again, trying to break down some of the things I like to see when I do my makeup. All right, mascara. We need mascara. All right, guys, so I typically go in with my Chanel mascara, but I can't find it. So I'm going to go in with this Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. I've had this for a minute. This is a sample size, and I don't really use it that much, but I do like it because now, unlike her colorful mascaras, this one does a really good job. But y'all, my favorite mascaras, two of them that I really need to repurchase, or one of them that I need to purchase from the beginning. I love the MAC Stack mascara and that YSL. I have the blue YSL, but I want the black one because that blue one is amazing. And I've heard nothing but good things about the all black one. So that's what I want to get that and repurchase the MAC Stack because I used to use the MAC Stack and y'all, I used it up. That's how much I used it. The only thing about this one, this is not good for the bottom lash line. It is too big. But that's okay. That's okay because we still got it done. Yeah, and I like a lot of mascara. That's why I like the MAC Stack from MAC because you can pile on the mascara. I don't wear lashes, so I like to, just have my own natural lash. And that's why I really like that MAC Stack because you can pile on the mascara and get that exaggerated, clumpy, heavy lash look that some people get from wearing false lashes. But I used it up and I haven't repurchased it, but it is on my repurchase list. Like I said, this Pat McGrath is good. It's really good for those top lashes, but not so good for the bottom lashes. All right, so what is our next step? So when I look at my face, I feel like my face is really, really matte. It is really, really smooth, and I love that. I do see where this inner corner eyeshadow needs some work, but I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And y'all, I keep these little disposable eyeshadow applicators around when I don't want to use my brushes or if I need to do like a touch up or something like that. All right, so I'm going to put just a little bit of highlighter on. All right, so I'm going to put just a little bit of highlighter on because y'all, I am in love with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I say I'm not going to use it, but I always end up using it just, to highlight that center of my face. I always say I'm not going to use it, but I end up using it. I love this little palette. And yeah, so that's just a highlighter, not a whole lot. Okay, so now for our lips today, I'm going to line my lips. I usually don't line my lips. I typically just go in with lipstick. But I have this MAC lip liner. This is in the shade Current. It's like a purple lip liner. I decided to use this today because, and y'all, these go on so smooth. I'm going to do a pink lip, but I want it just a little bit more than just a regular pink lip. Anyway, so the lip liner is on. You can see it's kind of a purplish color. And I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath Matte Trance lipstick. I put the shade on the screen. I can't remember the shade. But y'all, when I first used this, y'all, this lipstick melted inside of my mouth. And I haven't tried it since, but I said I'm going to try it today, give it another shot, because I love the color. I think this is like a magenta color. Oh, look at that. That is so pretty. Y'all, that color. Oh. I saw, I think Beauty by Julie P. She had on a really pretty pink color like this. And I think she got it from NYX. I think it was one of their butter. I don't know. It was one of the NYX lipsticks. And I was like, I have to go buy that. But then I remembered I had this Pat McGrath lipstick. I said, it looks like that is the same color. So before I go out and purchase something different, let me see if I can make that work for me. And this is the color. That really bright fuchsia type of look. It's not on my teeth. I don't know what happened that first time. It just, I don't know what happened. Y'all can go back and look at that video, but I don't know what happened to make that lipstick get all on my teeth. It was on my tongue. It was just all in my mouth. Anyway. All right. What do you guys think? I think the face. You see how I put all this together? I'm going to go ahead and get my hair together and put on some earrings, and I'll come back to close out the video. All right, guys, so I'm back. I put on some earrings and tried to do something with this hair. But this is my finished look, and I hope, my biggest fear when I do these types of videos is that I wasn't clear about what I was doing. But I don't know, you've seen one makeup tutorial, maybe you've seen them all. But this is my, I want to say just my go-to routine when I'm applying my makeup. What I like to see in the mirror as my finished look, I like to see matte. I like to see colorful. I like to see smooth. And I like to see I like to see my eyelashes pop. And my eyelashes are not popping like I want them to pop, but I know what to do. If I get that MAC Stack mascara, then my eyelashes pop. So that's what I like to see. And I love a little highlight down the center of the nose and on the forehead. I just like that. So I'm really pleased with my look today overall. This is pretty much my go-to. I do start out with skincare, and I am realizing that for my skin, for mature, dry skin, you know, I have to spend just a little bit more time on the skincare part of applying my makeup. But yeah, and when I do that, it all turns out really, really nice. So you guys let me know down below. I hope you watched to the end of the video, but let me know down below, you know, what you think about my routine. You can share with me what your routine. Would you like take something out, maybe do this before that or that before this? You know, what do you do? What products do you use in your makeup routine? Do you have a makeup routine? You know what? I feel like every woman needs a makeup routine. Whether you wear makeup out every day or just on special occasions, I think we all need a go-to routine. And so that's why I wanted to kind of like break down and find one that works for me. Instead of trying to do so many different things every time I sit down and do my makeup. I don't want to do that. I just want to have a good, quick go-to. Yeah, but this took a long time. I feel like I've been in front of this camera for a long time. I am going to edit some of the things down, but to that subscriber who mentioned that, hey, I would like to see the whole process, this one is for you. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and get my day started. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.